Welcome back to CBS This Morning. Media mogul Tyler Perry made headlines recently when he announced that his studio would resume production. He's got a 30-page plan for keeping the cast and crew safe from the coronavirus. Now, it is among the first studios in the country to reopen after the entire industry came to a halt amid this pandemic. So first on CBS This Morning, he let us go behind the scenes to take a look at the sprawling is the word, Tyler Perry Studios in Atlanta, to see how safety is being made a priority on his set.
Delta and Echo, Mark.
Tyler Perry has very ambitious plans to film the new seasons on his 4 TV shows, all while keeping the 360 people on his production team safe from coronavirus. He's calling it Camp Quarantine.
Let's go get this. All right.
All cast and crew are required to live on site for each 2-week production. And to limit exposure, Perry is flying in actors from LA and New York on private flights. Wearing a mask and social distancing are strictly enforced.
But social distancing, hand sanitizing, 6 feet.
And medical staff test everyone every 3 to 4 days. The media mogul even constructed new buildings on his Atlanta lot to provide housing on site with perks like food trucks and movie nights to keep spirits high. All the work and planning paid off.
This is our second round of testing, no positives.
Perry wrapped his production ahead of schedule with cast and crew walking off his lot testing negative for COVID-19. And he plans on doing it all over again when the next production team arrives at Camp Quarantine. Tyler Perry joins us now from Atlanta. Good morning to you, Tyler Perry. Impressive. Good with morning, a capital Gail. I. I say, wow, wow, wow. Good morning. I'm sitting here, Mr. Perry. I have the confidential 30-page document of Camp Quarantine. Listen, you covered all the bases. You dotted every I and crossed every T. So I'm wondering, what did you do to prepare for this, Tyler? Who did you talk to? How did you pull this off?
Well, after sitting around learning everything I could, I called Dr. Carlos Del Rio, Emory Hospital, Dr. Sanjay Gupta, Dr. Colleen Kraft, and I showed them my plan. We all worked very closely on it to make sure that everybody was safe, and to know that we've got through the first production of Sisters safely, it means it all worked well. So I'm really, really grateful and thankful for that, because I got to tell you, Gail, I being in the position I'm in, I had the option to go away and just sit and wait for a vaccine, but I had 360 employees or so on the shows who have bought houses and cars and are taking care of their families and who needed to work. So I had to do something. I couldn't wait around for a plan. I had to do something.
I know, but that's what I wanted to know, because the union said, listen, we're going to be issuing guidelines very soon. You could have waited for that, but you said you wanted to take extreme measures. Why?
Yeah, and I did wait for the union, all the union guidelines. So we got all of their guidelines. We got the state guidelines, the city guidelines, and then I went past everything that they were asking for one reason and one reason only, is realizing that black and brown people are the people who are dying the most from COVID. I knew that I had to go far, far beyond. And also having a crew member at the beginning of COVID coming into America who died, who was working on another show. I mean, we all knew him and knew him well. So I had to go beyond. And with me living right there with them side by side, I wanted to make sure that everybody was safe.
And so how does the testing work, Tyler? They come and it seems like they get tested on a regular basis. Walk us through how it works for you.
Yeah, we're testing. Well, during pre-production, we were testing every 4 days, and pre-production is when the crew was actually going home into their houses and coming into work and so on and so forth. But when we went into quarantine, that meant everybody, all 300, it's actually 360 people, we were all locked down here at the campus testing every 4 days. And it was Sanjay Gupta who said, because what I was going to do is just test once a week, but Sanjay said every 4 days is better because, Dr. Gupta rather, because of the incubation period. And that has been pretty accurate for what we found is 4 to 5 days of incubation during pre-production, but we had no positives during the time that we were actually in the quarantine.
Wow. Are people finding it hard to follow the rules? Are you getting any pushback from your team? Doesn't seem like it.
Let me just tell you, this crew, I've got the best crew in the business. I've got a group of underdogs. We're all underdogs. We've all been counted out. I've got former prisoners that are working for me. And my crew, man, these people came in here with such vigor and tenacity and wanted to make this work. I'm so proud of them and how they behaved and what they did. I mean, it's kind of hard policing 360 people, especially at an adult summer camp when you're trying to keep them all from COVID with an open bar every evening. So, but just their behavior, I'm so proud of them. It almost brings me to tears when I think about their behavior. They're good behavior.
I know. I marvel at it too, Tyler. Yeah, I marvel at it too. You've just wrapped up the second season of Sisters. You're about to start on the Oval. I can't wait to see what's going to happen in the Oval. It's a different kind of White House, let me tell you. So what will happen in this transition period? What will you do now? Yeah, what will you do now?
Well, right now, we've got all Sisters cast left a few days ago. We got them all back home safely, and now we're bringing in the Oval cast. So they will come in on this coming Thursday. They will test and wait. So here's how we do. We break it up. 160 people check in on Thursday, and then 200 people of the crew check in on the following Monday. So we get the test results of the 160. They stay in their rooms until their results come back. Then the 200 come in. They stay in their rooms until the results come back. And on the first day, when we were doing that, where everybody checks in, stays in their room until the testing come back, we had 2 positives that were in the camp before we started. So we were able to get them help and get them out of the camp so that we can maintain the bubble.
You make it sound so easy, Tyler. Have you had any challenges?
Listen, every bit of it has been challenging. Every bit of it's been extremely expensive. And I got to just say thank you to Bob Bakish of CBS Viacom. I know this is CBS, but and Scott Mills at BET had because this was incredibly expensive, and they put up a large sum of the money to make this happen, and I covered the rest of which was above and beyond. But yeah, this was the most stressful thing I've ever done because these are people's lives and health, right? So I'm trying to make sure that they can not only thrive and survive in their livelihood, but also keep them safe. So that has been extremely stressful. But I could have just sat out and waited it out. But what would they have done? I had to push through.
Yeah.
I had to find a way.
It's typical of you, Tyler's thinking of others, and you're going to hate this part, but I'm going to do it anyway, because in the last 3 months, you never toot your own horn. I'm going to do it for you. The last 3 months, I just want to talk about your good deeds. Paid for groceries for shoppers at 29 Winn-Dixie stores. Provided plane service for members of George Floyd's family. Paid for the funeral expenses of Rashard Brooks. This is in the last 3 months. Paid for tuition of a college student who was working as a sanitation worker in Maryland to go to Harvard for his first year of law school. And then earlier this month, you paid for gift cards at Kroger, and then you asked the Atlanta Police Department to help you distribute them. So we have a senior producer here that said, please, John Towers is his name, please ask Tyler when he's going to come up with the coronavirus vaccine. I mean, that's what people think of when they think about you, Tyler, always going above and beyond. I thought that was pretty good. But where does this helping gene come from? Because you are consistent with it, and you always keep it. You're never touting your own horn. I think people should know about what you do. Where does this come from?
This is all my mother. My mother, I'd wake up in the house on the weekend, there'd be strangers living in the house. I mean, she would, if anybody was in trouble, she would help them out. And I know that I get that from her. And she taught me a great deal about compassion and helping other people, and just understanding that just because someone is down or having a hard time, that doesn't make them less than. So it's anytime I get an opportunity to help or to inspire, because that's what this is about. So when it's mentioned, I do get a little uncomfortable with it. But the truth is, I wanted to inspire other people to do something the same thing. So the inspiration of it is what's important. So I'm hoping that it inspires more good. We've got enough hate, we've got enough division, we've got enough anger, we've got enough all of that stuff. Can we just bring some balance of good and kindness and love to each other? That's what I'm looking for more of.
Well, Tyler Perry, mission accomplished. We thank you so much for... Oh, Tyler, it's been widely reported that Meghan and Harry are living at your place in Los Angeles. Can you tell us how they're doing? You speak English?
I'm sorry. I think I just lost you. I just lost you, Gail. I'm sorry. We have a really bad connection. I'm sorry. I think we lost Gail King, guys. We lost her. Thank you, Gail King. Great interview, Gail. Thank you.
Tyler Perry.
We lost you.
Bye, Tyler. Thank you so much. Right now it's 8:39. Time to check your local weather. Bye.